A sudden hug from Gilson caught Elena by surprise. Even Belinda couldn't believe what she was seeing.
"What's wrong with you, Gilson? What kind of prank are you planning?" Elena asked, stiff in his arms. "I missed you," Gilson whispered. The sudden change was something Elena wasn't used to, especially coming from him. "Let me go. You're creeping me out," she said, pushing against his chest. Gilson couldn't believe it. She was small, but she had quite some strength.
"Belinda asked me to be here. What game are you playing? Do you think this makes everything okay?" She continued with a grim face. "What makes what okay?" Gilson asked, genuinely confused. Elena stared at him. "You yelled at me. Said I was annoying. Said my breath disgusted you. You forgot after saying all that?" "Did I say that?" Gilson muttered. "Damn. I was such a pain in the ass." He realized how distant he had been from Elena in his past life, how little warmth there was between them. The gap felt heavier now that he understood what he had lost. "I'm sorry," he said awkwardly. Both Belinda and Elena froze. "Young lady, did he just apologize?" Belinda whispered. "I heard an orc did a number on you. Didn't expect you to get hit in the head," Elena added. Gilson was speechless at their reaction. "No, I really got them all. Why are you implying I got hit?" He tried to defend himself, even as the lingering pain from the raid pressed down on his body. "Yeah, right, brother. You totally got them in this state of yours. What were you fighting? Handicapped orcs?" Elena smirked. Watching Elena and Belinda laugh together, Gilsan suddenly felt something twist inside him. Everyone was exactly how he remembered them. So why, in his past life, had he wasted so much time on useless pride and meaningless anger? In a week, it would be the festival. In his previous life, he had rejected Elena's offer to attend together, making an excuse that the raid had upset him. That was the last time he saw her alive. Soon after, they found her body shredded into pieces, along with her bodyguards. The memory made his chest burn with fury. A knock came from outside. 2 soldiers entered, smiling when they saw Elena. They were her bodyguards. The one on the left was Jamal, and the one on the right was Philip. Elena asked if there was a problem since she had told them to wait. Jamal apologized and explained that the servants were asking for her help overseeing preparations for the festival. Gilsan frowned. "Why are they asking you?" Belinda answered before Elena could. "You wouldn't understand. You laze around all day. The estate has a shortage of workers." Elena waved as she prepared to leave. Gilsan couldn't believe they were short on workers. Back then, he never cared enough to notice. "Let me help as well," he said. Elena stopped mid-step and slowly turned around, surprise written all over her face. Even Belinda looked stunned. "Young lady, he volunteered," Belinda said. "Do you really think the orcs hit his head?" Elena added, "despite it looking hard as steel?" Later that day, preparations were in full swing. Gilsan insisted he would help, while Elena kept telling him to go away because people would be scared to work with him. The servants looked uncomfortable, unsure how to react. Elena gave him a rugby-face slam of rejection. "Is this how you treat someone trying to help?" Gilsan asked. "The best way you can help," Elena replied bluntly, "is by not being here and staying out of trouble." Gilsan remembered something chilling. In his past life, Elena's body had been found near the stalls around the festival grounds. Someone must have lured her there or moved her afterward. To prevent that, he needed to understand every corner of the estate. "Gilsan, my young master." He turned toward the familiar voice. Old man Fergus hurried over, slightly out of breath, tears forming in his eyes as he confirmed Gilsan was safe. He had rushed here after hearing about the orc raid. Gilsan felt awkward. He didn't want to talk about it. "Good timing," Elena said. "Old man, please take him back to his room. He's been acting weird since waking up." Gilsan clicked his tongue, annoyed that his old reputation was getting in the way again. Still, he knew it couldn't be fixed overnight. "Old man Fergus," Gilsan said, "take me to the abandoned training field." Fergus hesitated. "For what reason, young master?" "To train." Fergus blinked. "What kind of orcs did you encounter? Perhaps we should have kept one. They seem to bring good discipline."
"This way, young master," Fergus finally said, leading him. Gilsan was surprised. The training field was in far better condition than he expected. It was the perfect place. Even in his past life as a mercenary king, he had never owned something like this. Fergus explained it had always been maintained in case he ever decided to use it. Whatever you're going through, young master, it's just a phase. Gilson paused. Even in his past life, had Fergus thought the same? He stopped himself. He wasn't a mercenary king here. Dying really felt like shit, Gilson muttered. Pardon? You're speaking as if you've experienced life and death, Fergus said carefully. As expected, you're sharp. I did. I died. And resurrected. Fergus stared at him. Young master, have you started drinking alcohol and sniffing donkey balls? That is a drug the illiterate use. Please abstain and save the little working mind you have.
Damn!
Gilson sighed. You can head back. I'm going to start training. Fergus bowed and left. Alone, Gilson clenched his fists. In his past life, he treated everyone like enemies. He had been short-sighted. 1 week. That's all I have. Back then, it was discovered that a neighboring lord was behind Elena's death. That incident dragged the Perdium estate into war and ultimately led to its downfall. Elena's death was the starting point of everything collapsing. This time, he would change it. First, he needed a stronger physique, annoying given the lack of time. But at least he could control mana. Mana was a supernatural force that allowed humans to break their limits. People said sensing and absorbing it was the hardest part. For Gilson, it was easy. He had done it countless times on chaotic battlefields. He connected the mana particles floating in the air, bundling them together like spinning a spool. For someone who had experienced tens of thousands of battles, creating a mana core was simple. But that wasn't what made him one of the 7 strongest. In his past life, he found a half-burned magic book. From it, he learned something forbidden. Humans naturally possess 1 mana core. He created a second, then a third. He linked them into a connected mesh, forming explosive output. Impurities burst out of his body. He vomited a pool of red juice. 3 cores. That was his limit. The technique granted overwhelming power for a short time, but consumed an absurd amount of mana. That was why he lost to Idun. Idun had brought an entire night order. When Gilson ran out of mana, the battle turned. Even then, he forced a stalemate. He would have won. The method was unstable, but it was enough for the early stages. This time, he had youth on his side. Even the bastard behind House Delphine who helped destroy the county would not escape. None of them would. 1 week later, on the day of the festival, Gilson prepared himself and walked toward the grounds. Elena looked surprised. Wow, you really came. What happened to you? I came. Deal with it, Gilson replied. You've been acting really well lately. Did the orcs hit you that hard? First of all, I was the one doing the beating. Second, I'm second in line. Can I train, you little bubblehead? He said, embarrassed. You didn't care before, she said suspiciously. You were the one who said Dad was annoying and that you wished you were Lord already. Her words pierced him. Anyway, Elena said happily, walking ahead. I like the way things are now. It seems like the old you is finally back. Those words made him realize something. His changed actions were already affecting the future. Belinda quietly warned Elena's guards to keep an eye on Gilson so he wouldn't cause trouble with so many visitors around. The general flow of events might remain the same, but small changes could shift everything. My greatest weapon isn't just my 3 mana cores, it's information from the future. I need to respond perfectly. Elena dragged him excitedly from stall to stall. Gilson didn't resist, but his eyes scanned constantly, sharp and alert.
Many hours later.
Eventually, Elena grew tired. It feels repetitive every year. The festival was almost over. Nothing had happened. Had the future changed because he was here? Do you want to check out other areas too? A voice suggested. Gilson immediately became alert. It was Jamal. According to a friend of mine, there are new events elsewhere, Jamal continued. Elena's eyes lit up, and she happily agreed. Gilson's gaze darkened. So it was you two. The traitors of our house? Jamal and Philip.